What's up, guys? This is Jack Jaguar, and we're here with
Conrad.
last name.
Garcia.
And what did you do?
I got second place at two case tournaments, one on Saturday at Ghost Games, and one on Sunday at Level 7 Games.
Nice. And what did you do it with?
Brandon Despia.
Nice. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile with your main deck first.
Alright, so starting off, 3 copies of Aluber, his best starter for the deck. Graveyard effect definitely comes up to special and negate. 1 tragedy. You only need 1 because I'm not playing Allure. Gets a little bit cloggy at more than 1. You can send it off Branded Fusion. You always banish it for follow-up to set whatever you need, really. Branded Fusion, Expulsion, whatever you need. 1 ad-lib. I'm probably going to cut this card. Didn't come up very often. It's only really used for the old like Branded in Red play. Summon back Mirror Jade. You can banish it with Albion too to summon one of your fusions, but it didn't come up very often. Under the Bestials, 2 Lebellion. I didn't have a good reason why not to play 3. I'm probably going to test 3. I was just testing 2, and 2 was fine. Usually you end up placing Lost with it or Regained, or post side I end up setting the Beast with it. And then obviously it's just part of the combo, so it's a good card. 3 Serenir, best one in this deck. Lets you Foolish any Brand Spell Trap, or you can Foolish Lubellion with it. This is like a huge starter in my deck.
Nice. So do you only play those 3 whenever you're running the deck, just the 3 Saranir, basically? You don't play the other Magma or anything else?
Oh no, I do play more. I'll get to that in a sec.
Okay.
And then for the last 2 Bestials, 2 Mag.
Oh, okay.
Being able to search in the end phase is just really good. Sometimes disrupting your opponent, like in the mirror match, you can make like certain plays awkward for them. You can also search in end phase for like an Albaz if you need, or something along those lines, and then use your quick play spells to either discard it or fuse with it. So it's just a good card for card advantage and for searching any dragon in your deck. Next to the searchables, 2 Albaz. I haven't tested 3. I personally think 2 is fine. The 3rd only came up once, maybe twice. If you're just smart with your resources, then I feel like 2 is fine. 2 Cartesia. Also my decks, I just picked up a lot of these cards, so the rarity's a little mismatched.
Ooh, is that a Starlight?
Yeah, so Cartesia's obviously amazing in this deck because her plus any light or dark with Lost just gets you to Branded Fusion through Grand Granola, and I usually summon this off Fusion Deployment. Also being able to quick effect fuse during your opponent's turn is nice. You can Fusion Deployment it out. If like your only plays a Luber, you just normal Luber after you summon this, so it dodges Imperm, which is nice too. Or Ghost Mourner, Veiler, things like that. 1 Albion. He's super important in this deck to dump either Retribution, Albaz, or whatever you need really. Also being able to draw one's nice. I search this off Lost a lot. Tumor Courier. You have to play 2 in this build because a lot of times you go Branded Fusion, send it, and then obviously you banish it for the combo if you open a Bestial. And then you search the second one. Also lets you play around Nib. I almost never played into Nib because there's no reason to. You'll see why later. 3 Ash. I am on Crossout in the main deck, which I'm still not positive about, but I mean, it worked pretty well for me. It's broken in the mirror. Not really great against like Castira, but it was really good against everything else in the Amazing Mirror match. So 3 Ash. 3 High Spirits. A lot of people aren't playing this card, but in my build, it's amazing. Being able to dump Serenir, or being able to search an Albaz when you need one. I built the whole deck to play through Ash, essentially. It's kind of awkward too sometimes, but also you can discard this with Super Poly or Opening to just add it back for more card advantage. It searches Cartesia as well. This card was just really great for me. I don't think I'm going to cut it anytime soon. Opening, another quick play spell. Being able to activate this in the end phase or on your opponent's turn is really nice. The protection effect never came up, but it's just a nice bonus to the card. Obviously 3 Brand Fusion, probably one of the most broken cards ever printed. 1 branded in white. I feel like in my build you have to play this, because if you're going for Rinbrum, it's always better to just use this to banish your Albaz. Also, like, really late game, if you haven't both your Albaz engraved, you can at least use this to make a Mirror Jade, and you don't have to lose any card advantage to do so. Second effect never came up for me because I never opened it with Albaz. 1 branded in red. I think one was fine for me. I do want to test 2 of these though, because this just lets you play through Ash sometimes if you still want to end on one of the fusion monsters. It's also good. Sometimes you just add the card to hand instead. This is the only card I use to make Chimera, so this was a nice card. 1 regained. This card, I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not, but it just gives you so much card advantage once you get rolling with this card. You can also put back your Mercuriers or use Albion to banish your Albaz to put it back in your deck with this card. And then just having additional continuous spell to set off Rebellion was really nice to have. Now for maybe controversial 3 lost. This card is the best card in the deck in my opinion. Opening this with Cartesia plus any way to fuse just gets you to your whole combo. And this lets you play around hand traps, it lets you search Mercurier to play around Nibiru, it lets you play through boards with Super Poly. This card is just amazing. I don't know why people aren't playing 3 of it, but I kind of want to test 2 or even 1. But for me it was amazing, so mainly because of Cartesia. This card was just amazing with Cartesia. 3 fusion deployment. This card lets you either summon Albaz or Cartesia. Summoning Cartesia is just really great because you get to go into your Green Granola play, get started. I really like this card. It's not necessarily necessary, it just depends on your build. 3 Super Poly. I use this so much, and whenever I got Unicorn Rips, they always just rip my Mud Dragon because most of the cash players I were playing against were going for a Diablosis play, and they didn't want to get hit with Super Poly. But even if I did, any normal summon in your deck can fuse the Arise Heart, and then this card is also just broken in the Mirror Match. Next, 3 Crossout. This works for Ash. It worked well for me this weekend. Still don't know entirely how I feel about it. In the Mirror Match, it's insane. Even if you're going for OTK, one thing you can do is activate Crossout, and then if you have your own Super Poly, you can chain the Super Poly to it, and then on res, if they have back row and you think one's a Super Poly, you just call the Super Poly afterwards. So that way you can't get Super Poly and you actually OTK. Whereas if your opponent has a Super Poly set in the mirror, it can be really tough. So Crossout worked really well for me. It works on Branded Fusion too. Bestials, those are the main things I use it for. 1 call by. We can't just be losing to Ash. Every one of these tournaments, I was expecting everyone to be on Ash. I didn't actually get Ash super often. But call by came in handy. So, and then lastly, 1 Retribution. This card was amazing. Opening it kind of sucks because you have to find a way to discard it with either Rebellion or opening. I almost never set this card and use the effect, but banishing to add back a Branded Fusion or add back any of your spells, just super amazing. I feel like you have to play this card. Next, we're going to the extract.
How many was that in the main deck?
Just 1 Retribution. I think it's a little too bricky.
I meant how many cards in the main deck?
My main deck was 47, I believe.
Okay.
Next up for the Fusion Dragons, 2 Albion. This one's the best one to send off High Spirits or off Mirror Jade. I really wanted to have room for 3 because the 3rd one comes up a lot for me since I'm playing High Spirits and I always dump it. But I just didn't have room, so I kind of just had to play with what I had, and it ended up working out for me. 2 Rebellion. You can play 1 I kind of want to test one, but like getting it ripped with Unicorn kind of sucks. But to be fair, I got rips for Mud Dragon every time, so like if they're not gonna rip this out of my X trick, I think it's fine. Also, like only playing 2 Albion, I like to have 2 of these. 2 Mirror Jades. Second one came up a lot for me, just because you burned through the first one. 1 Rinbrum. I wasn't worried about this getting ripped out of my extra deck, just because like they almost always drift Mud Dragon. I'm not entirely sure if that's correct. This guy's just super broken, being able to use your own Mirror Jade on the first turn in your combo, and use the effect to be able to dump whatever you need, and then negating the effects, and then obviously you can bounce your Rebellion to hand and use it if you summoned it off its graveyard effect. 2 Grand Granola. I played 2 because I was kind of worried about getting it ripped with Unicorn, especially if people caught on to like how much I rely on this card. The second effect to banish to summon the Quertus didn't come up too much, but I feel like I had to play 2 of this. I don't think I'll play less than 2. 1 Quertus. This is way better than Perskinian. Like a lot of people are playing Perskinian, but this just lets you survive to the next turn. It's also really awkward to out. So like this card is just amazing. Even if they do out it, you can summon Albaz or any of your Despia monsters, which is a super nice. 1 Masquerade. Second one never came up for me. I think 1's fine. It's mostly just as a time card, or like a generic like super poly target. Drago. This card was amazing. I made Drago a lot against Cash because like if their hand's kind of weird, you can make their Fenrir level 1 negates effects, and like they can't use it for any of their rank 7s, which it was just super broken for me. 1 Mud Dragon, just for super poly. Random decks, you have to have this. Kashtira, you have to have this Thymic Diablosis, and they don't rip it. They kind of have to rip it. 1 Chimera. I really only made this against trap decks. And then against Kashtira, I would also make this with my Brandon Red if I went full combo. Lastly, Gura, you can send this off Grand Granola to get a draw, but I never actually did that effect because I almost always had a better dump with Grand Granola. And then obviously random decks, it's just good as a super poly target.
Nice.
Side deck, 1 Duster. There's a lot of Labyrinth players, so like I like this card. I sided the 1 Beast. I saw some people in Discord citing this, so I decided to test it. I really liked it. It's good against trap deck. Like I sided this against trap decks, like start popping cards every turn. I tried siding it against Kashtira, going first, because like getting the pop without them being able to activate Fenrir or Unicorn is really nice. Expulsion and Gimmick Puppet. These cards were super MVP. Like my build, I'm able to get to Expulsion and Gimmick Puppet without using Brand Infusion.
Could you explain the Gimmick Puppet really quick?
Yeah, so this I also got from the Discord. Amazing card. When it summons to your opponent's field, it locks them into special summoning Gimmick Puppets, so they can't special summon except for Gimmick Puppets. So it helps you play around evenly, Lightning Storm, and then it also just locks them out of their turn. Another thing I did once in the mirror match was I used Expulsion for Gimmick Puppet, and then they were able to like set some back row and do some stuff. So I just set Expulsion again with my Tragedy, and then you can just Gimmick Puppet them again on the next turn. Expulsion also, you can summon you summon this to your opponent's field, and then to your field you can summon your Aluber or your Albaz to start fusing. I sided this against Labyrinth as well because I figured like everyone's gonna be siding evenly, so like this is really like the best card against evenly since they have a monster. Like it's super hard for them to clear. And then you play this over Disciple because they can Book of Eclipse Disciple.
And also gets around Lightning Storm too because they need to control nothing, right?
Yep, and Lightning Storm. It was really nice for me. I don't know why not everyone's playing it. 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. This card won me a few matches actually. I just wanted to have a hand trap this side. It plays into Thrust like super hard, but like honestly figured like most people wouldn't assume that I would hand trap them outside of Ash, and like Ash is kind of mid against Kashtira, so like maybe like they're gonna get into Beard, but like you can use this on Shifter, you can use this on a Rise Heart, you can use this to chain to an Ash on your Brand Fusion. It was good. I did break up on the driver one time though. I'll probably end up cutting the Gamma though. I just wanted to test it because it's a new format. So 3 Lava Golem. I sided this card a lot, but didn't see it a single time. So honestly, I can't really say how it was for me. It's just good again, in theory, against big combo decks and against Kashtira. 1 Dogwood. Couldn't fit the other ones. I figured it's a new format, so like a lot of games are going to be going into time, and like a lot of people at our locals like siding this card, so like cross out on the Dogwood might just save me like a lot of games in time. So that was that theory. Last but not least, 3 Evenly. Evenly's broken. I opened 2 against a Cash player, and like he had a Baron set up, and it was just GG's from there. Like I had Baron Fusion. I still think this card's like probably the best side card format, and that's it.
Nice. Well, thank you and congrats on your wins this weekend.
Thank you.
Are you going to be going to any events coming soon?
Yeah, I'll be at YCS Las Vegas, and then 250th in LA, and then I'll also be going to YCS Philly, so catch me there.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you again and congrats on this weekend.
Thanks.